Okay. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather, and on this channel we like to walk a very fine line between a shopping addictive makeup monster and a responsible adult with a makeup hobby. Now, I really enjoy eyeshadow singles, duochromes, multichromes, blush, highlight, lip gloss, basically everything except pressed glitter. And today we're going to be doing a combined October and most of November palette ranking. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me. We're getting into it right now. I did want to go ahead and shout out a couple of things that are not eyeshadows first and foremost, because I did pick up the whole Hocus Pocus 2 collection when it came out. The glosses, I do think they're pretty nice. I love the color of these two, the white and the like almost black. They do kind of get a little bit of that like pilling around the lips though when you're talking for a while. That like white, I dislike that. But I do think the colors are really pretty, just nice and soft. I did also pick up the 3 Jelly Much shades here, and these are Jelly Much glitter hybrids, so they do have some glitter in them. I really wish they didn't, because I think I would like them so much more if they were just the Jelly Much shades, and I don't know if there's a way to sort of expeditiously remove the glitter other than like pushing them through a sieve and then throwing the sieve away. But I would really love it if there wasn't glitter in there, because I would love to just be able to throw that all over my lid. The purple shade is super pretty, and it's definitely kind of like multi-chromatic, because it definitely pulls like almost an pinky orange on the sides, and then you have this really pretty orange shade. And then my personal favorite is the I Am Calm, which is like an iridescent blue-green kind of shade here. So I like them, but again, with caveats, if it wasn't Hocus Pocus 2, I probably wouldn't have purchased any of those things. But since it was the Hocus Pocus 2 collection, I did go ahead and just pick up the whole bundle. So the other thing to shout out then would be the Binks highlighter, which is called Find the Book, but they have Binks on the front. And it's just a really pretty green highlighter. I don't know if my lights are going to blow this out. Oh, you can kind of see it there. Nice, beautiful green highlighter. I was super excited to get this one. It smells really good too, like fresh. So there's that. And then I have also been playing around with this Simpsons Treehouse of Horror blush palette, and I do really like it. The highlighter in here is really pretty. It has like a soft pink duochrome kind of quality to it. So definitely I'm really happy I found that at TJ Maxx. Then there was 2 highlighter palettes that like stole the damn show this month, and will probably continue to steal the show for a while. One of which is the Glamlite and Scooby-Doo highlighter palette. I could just look at that all day. But the 2 shades in here look like this, and of course my lights are gonna blow that way out, but basically one is like a pinky highlighter and the other one is like a greeny blue highlighter. And they're like really sparkly, really reflective. I've been using them also like above my crease in the inner corners, just to kind of add like more sparkle and shimmer in that area, and the inner corners in and of themselves, because I like the sparkly quality of these highlighters. So very, very nice. And then the last highlighter thing that I will shout out before we get to the palettes is the Noctilucent palette from Blend Bunny. This thing is so pretty. Let me see if I can just grab all the shades here quick. Okay, so there we go. They're just so pretty. You can see here, I mean, you've got this really pretty like pinky shade. You've got one that's more like a peachy pink, one that definitely pulls more orange, one that pulls more of like a limey chartreuse green, a soft aqua blue, and then this is a very cool toned like purpley blue kind of shade. So they are just beautiful. So that's the Noctilucent palette. Super happy to have that. So I've been using about 12 palettes over the last month and a half or so, and because of our moving and everything, I just did not have time to film my October palette ranking separately. So I figured, you know what, I wasn't wearing a lot of makeup for a ton of October anyway. Let me just carry it over into November and do kind of a hybrid. So here we are. Coming in at number 12 is the Garden of Juvia's palette. And this palette is really, really pretty. I got this palette because of the duochrome shades in here. Like, these duochromes really just spoke to me on another level. When I swatched them in the store, I was like, you're coming home with me. like no joke. But I find this to be kind of a companion palette because I still kind of long for something deeper in the outer corner and in the lower lash line. Like this doesn't go deep enough for me, and I kind of don't care about these like orangey yellow peachy shades at the bottom. So for me, this one kind of like floated down towards the bottom because of that reason, because it's a companion palette, even though the metallics in this one are like stupid pretty. Coming in at number 11 is the Makeup by Yolando Unexpected palette, and it looks like this. So this is the color story. You've got like a soft gray, a medium gray, and then a deeper purple, a metallic black, and a metallic like silvery white shade. I love the concept of this in theory, and this was the one of these, like I think I got like 5 of these palettes. This is the one that I was the most excited to try. But the mattes are a bit dry, and so are the metallics, and I don't know if that's this particular palette or all of them. So this one kind of floated to the bottom because I was a little frustrated with the quality, but the actual color story itself is very pretty. So there's that. And then the next one up is half of the AO Coralie launch that she did with Beauty Bay, and it's the palette that looks like this. So this one's like that pinky purpley pops of blue kind of palette, and while I think this is really pretty and I've liked the looks I've put together with this palette, it's just a more predictable color story than the other half of this palette, which we'll get to shortly. So if I had been given the option to only get the other half of the palette, I probably would have skipped this entirely, but they were only sold as a duo. So I ended up picking this one up. I do like it. I'm not mad to have it. It's just not my favorite. But it is good quality. So if you like the color story, you would probably love that palette. I just think it's not as unique as some of these other color stories. All right. Coming in at number 9, and I was really surprised for this one to come in so low. It's this Hocus Pocus 2 palette, and I do really like the color story, but there were so many other things coming out that just had even more remarkable color stories that I just had to put them up higher. So this one kind of floated down, and I'm just really surprised how far it went. The shades in here, the metallics, they're pretty. They're just like they're pretty. They're just kind of like soft compared to some of the other, where can I even put these now? Oof. Like you can see the 4 shades here, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just a little soft. So when I finish putting a look together, I'm kind of like, I need something more to kind of round this out, and this palette just doesn't give me enough of what I want. I love the packaging. I'll probably never get rid of it because of the packaging and theming and everything, but the actual color story itself is like, I could have done without those two altogether. That 9 pan I would have loved even better, and then you could have invested in making the quality a little better. All right, next, what are we at, 8? This is the Teresa is Lethal palette. So this is the second collab that she did, and it looks like this. Now the silver in here, she's right, it's got like the teeniest tiniest drip of like taupiness to it, but it's otherwise a really stunning silver. I love the mattes that she picked in this palette. The only thing that I struggle with is these 2 shades here. So this one and this one, while they are super pretty and super buttery, I feel a little bit lost when I'm trying to pair them with the rest of the palette. And that's definitely a me thing, but the quality of this palette is top notch. So it ranked higher than some of the other things where I was like, the quality is kind of meh, but where some of the other color stories took me places, this one I got kind of stuck. And so it fell a little lower because of that. But quality wise, phenomenal. Let me see if I can even, yeah, like you can see shimmery goodness. All right, coming in at number 7. Coming in at number 7 is the other half of the AO Coralie palette, and this is the one that I wanted. When I saw this pop up, I was like, yes, send it to me twice, because it's got sparkly blacks, which is like my new favorite passion apparently. It's got a really nice matte black, some deep kind of murky colors here. You've got a really nice limey shade here. And then this shade Negan I haven't used yet because it just like, R.I.P. Glenn. Like, I just can't. But I do think this is a really pretty color story, so I was super excited to get this one. Again, if I could have gotten this one without the other half, I probably would have skipped the other half, but since I couldn't, I got them both together. I'm not unhappy about the quality for either one. I just think this one has a more interesting color story. The next one up, and this is number 6. I can't believe this palette made it all the way up to number 6. Like, Lorac Mystic Oak. First of all, it's only 6 pans and it's neutral as heck. I don't know how it made it all the way up, but the shades in here are like so pretty and sparkly. They just have like a really nice kind of like reflectivity. Like, you can see this one. Ugh. I did a look using all 6 shades and wore out for the evening, and I just really liked how it came together. I think it's a beautiful little palette. It's like perfect for travel or in your purse. They're like $15. I can't complain about anything for this. Now, there are more colorful things that beat it, but as far as neutrals go, not very many things make it that far up in the neutrals for me. Coming in at number 5 is the first half of the Glamlite Scooby-Doo palettes, and this is the Retro Raggy palette, and it looks like this. First of all, my childhood come to life. I'm so excited about this entire Glamlite collection. No, I didn't pick everything up because I learned my lesson from Hocus Pocus, but I did pick up the palettes, the highlighter, and a set of the lashes. But yeah, this is just a beautiful, beautiful color story. I like the uniqueness of the shades and the undertones in here, because even though we've seen like blue, green, purpley kind of palettes before, I feel like we haven't seen this like cornflower blue plus this very like murky navy. Like, we don't see this kind of color story. So I was really, really excited for this. If you've ever checked out my Instagram, there was a BYOP palette that I did of what I envisioned as a Scooby-Doo palette based on the like villains rather than the heroes, and mine actually came out kind of similar to this. There was lots of blues and greens like this, so I was super excited. The other half of this palette is coming later, but yeah, can't complain. All right, coming in at number 4, and this one surprised me too. This is the Troublemaker palette from ColourPop. First of all, I love this kind of like grungy punk rock looking cover here, and then this is the color story. When I saw this online, I was like, yep, gonna buy it. And actually the look I'm wearing today is from this palette. I think it's just really inspiring to me. Now, the metallics in here, I feel like they could be better because they're just kind of soft, but when you use them like with a glitter glue, they definitely work a little bit better. Where can I put these? I'm running out of space. So you can see the shades there. Like, you can see the duochrome quality of this one on my finger or on my palm now that I've swatched it out. And this metallic silver is like really, really pretty, but it just doesn't pack as much punch. Oh, good Lord. Doesn't pack a punch the way some of my like special shades from indie brands do. However, I still think it looks really nice together. It can make like a nice kind of soft but smoky look. So it ranked at number 4. Okay, now these top 3 palettes I could probably interchange, and I'm sure everybody says that about their palette ranking videos when they get to the top, because all the top ones are like the bestest ones. But here we go. Coming in at number 3 is the Glamlite Barbie palette. Now, I loved Barbies when I was a kid. I used to have Barbies every which way. But this, like, when I saw this, I was like, yes, this is all the colorful dreams that I wanted. This blue in here is so pretty. It has like a duochrome kind of flip to it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch it. It doesn't look like I am. But this is a really, really pretty collection. And even the more like neutral shades here, I still feel look really, really nice. The only thing that I would have maybe liked, instead of having like this mustardy, dark mustard brown and light mustard brown, is to have one like pop of true yellow. I think that would have made the palette even more special, because then you could contrast that yellow with these other shades. But this is a really pretty palette, and for how many shades, it's actually like fairly decently sized. So it came all the way up to number 3. And then coming in at number 2, this is the Strange and Unusual palette. I think I went an entire week where this is the only palette I wore, which is really unusual for me because I'm normally bouncing back and forth between palettes like left, right, and center. But this one I was so inspired by, I was just constantly dipping back into it. I really love this shade Afterlife. Miss Argentina is so beautiful. I love Tombstone, which I could literally just read you every single name in this palette because I love all of them so much. I did do a first impressions of this palette on my channel. You should be able to find that. Definitely would recommend this palette. I know it's not on sale for Black Friday, so you're not missing anything if you didn't see this. You know, you're not missing anything if you didn't shop their sale during Black Friday, because they really just put a sale on their collab palettes. But I would definitely recommend picking this one up if you have a spare like $60. And then coming in at number 1, ooh, I dropped it, is the Scooby-Doo Creeps and Crawls palette. And it looks like this, and it's this like grungy, smoky, blue-purple palette. I am obsessed. The shimmers in this palette are like unmatched. They're so pretty. Every time I come into this palette, I have to like dip into so many of the shimmers because they just do it for me. Like there's 4 of the shimmers. They're so pretty. They catch the light so beautifully. And when you see stuff like this, it's hard to like then justify like shimmers like these. You know what I mean? Like these just kill it. So I was so excited to get this palette and to start using it. I have loved every single look I put together. I look a little crazy going to work because I've been using all these really dark smoky colors, but I do not care because they come out so pretty every time. Alright, and with that said, I am officially covered in swatches and need to go wash my hands. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go. Let me know in a comment what are the palettes you've been loving in October and November, and I'm going to catch you in a video very soon. Bye!